Hello and welcome back. We've got a great double exposure here using color images, and the big part of using color images, you want to be sure if you can that the colors are going to work well together. So we've got a Ferris wheel and some clouds. Let's jump into Photoshop. We've got there we go. We're in chapter 2, section 3, and let's go ahead and open both of our Ferris wheel images. Now, I love both of these images independently. I think they're both really, really nice. And again, these are both stock images as well. I think they both work very well, and we're going to put them together. This is going to take 2 seconds. It's a very simple one. I just wanted to give you some color examples as well as black and white examples, so you kind of can do both. There we go. Let's use our Move tool. We're going to hold Shift and click and drag from one image to another. Let's hit F for full screen. Now let's go ahead and right-click and go to Convert to a Smart Object, and we're going to change this layer from Normal to Lighten. There we go. Let's hit Control or Command T and go ahead and bring our clouds in. And these are clouds. If you're going to be transforming a person, you want to be sure that you have you maintain the aspect ratio, right? And what I mean by that is, let's just go ahead and duplicate this background layer. Okay, like if I were to transform this, I would want to hold Shift as I make it larger and smaller so it keeps the same aspect ratio. You wouldn't want to do this with a person in it, right? Because they're going to look really weird. When you're working with clouds or relatively abstract shapes, you can stretch them out a bit and totally get away with it. I wouldn't recommend going crazy, but a little bit, you'll be just fine. So these clouds, for instance, I'm going to hit Control or Command T, and let's make sure we're on the cloud layer. And I can kind of stretch these out and move them right to where we want, and there we go. Basically, my goal here is to create an artistic double exposure image. I don't need to keep the integrity of the cloud shape. That's not my goal. All right, here we go. Just kind of bring that in. This is so cool. I love this image. And it's so fun to see two images brought together. You know, you really can get something that just kind of adds to the story a little bit more. Alright, I think that looks pretty good. Now, of course, this is a smart object, so I can transform it at any time. Totally okay there. And I can continue to move this at any time here. So my main goal here, we have our blues and our teals and our reds, and bringing these two together, I just think creates a really, really wonderful look, and just creates a lot of fun and excitement. It's an image that's fun to look at, and I think that's making a great double exposure here. So again, kind of the theme, you know, where our subject is spinning their hair. We've got the Ferris wheel, and then we've got a lot of sky, and then we're bringing in even more sky. So we're kind of like looking up at the sky, bringing in a little bit more sky, and we're good to go. I'm going to hit Control or Command L for our levels, and here we can adjust. Maybe I want to just adjust my white levels just a little bit and bring those down just a little bit. There we go. And that looks good. And then if we wanted to color this image a little bit, again, we're on this cloud image, you can go to your different color channels. So for instance, I could take my red channel and bring it down, and that's going to add teals, which is the opposite of red. That's going to add a little bit of cyan also, you could call it. Add a little bit of cyan into our highlights. There we go. So that looks nice. Let's hit OK. We'll just turn this off and on so you can see. I just thought it was like it being white was just a little bit like I felt like it could use a little bit of the color from the image. So darkened it up just a little bit in the highlights and added some teal into the highlights, and there we go. We are good to go. There we go. Our color example, double exposure.